Thank you for doing this. Appreciate it.
Is there any audio or anything on your PowerPoint?
No.
Okay.
Audios and videos, they never end up working right, so it's better to leave them out.
Quicker for you with your PowerPoint.
Okay, awesome. And then the audio just is picked up in the room.
Yeah, so that's the microphone and also the speaker.
Okay.
So, but if you just project, as long as you project it, it'll pick up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just talk normal.
Yeah. Oh, and you want to check the buttons on it, make sure it goes through the way you want it to.
Yeah, seems to be good.
Perfect. Do you know how many people are connected?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like 5 last time I heard, but that was a week ago. So.
Have you been in this room before?
No.
You need to use the restroom. It's down the stairs to the right, not right at the bottom of the stairs.
Okay. I'll make that announcement.
At the men's side, the women's side is on the other side.
Okay. Hi. Are they starting to send people over?
Not quite yet. They just finished the guest speaker.
Oh,
I think they're kind of giving another rundown of like how things are gonna flow throughout the day. And then they'll send people over there after
okay.
that.
You're gonna be mostly presenting from here, or do you like to walk around? Is that gonna zoom this in so it's tighter on you?
I will try to stay in one place because when you move too much, it kind of gets distracting. The worst I'll do is I'll step about right here and point to something, but I'll stay kind of within this box.
Hi, I'm Tian, by the way. I'm one of the facilitators.
Hi, Adam.
Nice to meet you. Yeah. They want us to kind of help keep track of time too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, you're good then. Never
Yeah.
mind. I don't even need to hold up fingers or show you numbers.
Yeah. If we're starting to get tight and I'm just going crazy up here or whatever, then yeah, just go ahead.
I'll give you a 5 minutes kind of warning. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because I have an hour, right?
Yeah.
If we go an hour of just me talking, I would be shocked. My
Okay.
goal is to do like 30
Q&A.
minutes and then do Q&A.
Perfect.
So in the Q&A, I might get lost
Yep.
in that, so that one you might
Okay.
wave at me or say, hey, last question.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, no problem. And then I'm just going to introduce you as your name and then let you kind of go into a little bit more of who you are. Is that okay? Okay, cool. I have that all the time too.
Oh, it's so weird. And participants are already logged in. Nice little group. Are you guys gonna be able to, buy me a copy of the report?
I'm not sure. I'm not actually, I work for the, MEO's Business Development Center. So I'm not one of the ones who kind of put this thing on.
The main keeps.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I would imagine they would be able to tell.
Worst case, I can just do a YouTube video, save information. But, you know, it's always fun for marketing to have, the stuff on the website and things like
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
Will we be able to hide the attendees from the screen? Minimize it? Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's fine. That shouldn't be too bad where it's at. Maybe if it can get like a little bit lower. Yeah, right there should be fine. I don't think I have much below that area. Oh, perfect. So the picture is actually important because it's an AI photo. Look at the hands.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm going to use it. Okay, I'm going to start off by saying like, isn't this a wonderful photo? Don't you feel inspired by it? You know, and be like almost like, oh man, this guy has such an ego, and then be like, look. So anyone that tells you that AI can do all of your accounting for you, it's not there yet. So you still need a person. Little icebreaker.
No, that's a great one.
Midjourney? What did we use for it?
I don't even remember on this one.
Or is ChatGPT?
No, it was like a pay $20, get 100 photo kind of deal. I don't even remember what they were. You know, about half of them came out really good.
Yeah.
But you know, some of them just had flaws.
All right, I need you guys to check in. Can I just get the names? The last name is the first name, Wild, W-I-L. Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you. Yep, perfect.
Down the stairs. If you just go down these stairs right here, they're right in the front.
Oh, thank you, sir. We'll be right back.
All right.
They ran late.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. What's the start supposed to be for this one? Is it right at 9?
The start time?
Yeah.
I think it was supposed to be
9:45.
9:45.
We were running a little late.
Yeah.
We had like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 9:45.
All right.
Wait till next. I'm sorry, can I get your name? I just gotta check.
Michelle.
Can you find out the amount that's too cut short or just here?
Yeah.
Okay. And just let me know either way.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
As long as
Yeah.
then it goes around.
Are we? Can you just throw a quick message on chat so you
It was Bill. Richard, finish the answer. Just want to introduce myself. It looks like they're.
Yeah. Got a few staff. They're growing really quick. I've been hiring.
I'm not sure. I'm just.
Picture of that. Sure. So, yeah, and my cards are in that because the way I. The way I operate is I always have staff. So that's if you're perfect. Yeah, it was great meeting you, and yeah, so please let's connect.
Where are you sitting? Oh, you did. Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Right, I guess we're running a little late, so we'll start closer to 10 o'clock. You want to get started right now? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's not like, up to you. You want to start? Or you want to?
Let these last couple people pop through. If rolling chairs is your bar for fancy. Then...
Over there. The other room, they just had the folding chair.
Yeah, for your cheap date, I guess. Yeah. Ice in the water? What?
Right.
All right, we'll let the last couple people check in and then we'll get started. Just come in your Q&A time anyway, so I don't need to be in the hot spot, right?
Oh, we want you in the hot spot.
I know, right?
We need that.
Right?
Hurry,
You need to answer All right, you can unmute it. I'll just go ahead and get started. I've never been in this room before, so I didn't know like kind of the setting. Since we're kind of in a more intimate setting, please, if you have a question and you want to go through a little bit of a deeper dive into something that we're talking about, go ahead. Just raise your hand and we'll talk through it. And then if that shortens the Q&A, it's okay because we'll kind of do it as we're going along. You never know. I didn't know if we were going to be like something more like there or than awkward. So, all right. So welcome to Business Financial Management. Beautiful picture, right? Just don't you feel inspired by that picture already? Okay. Can anyone tell me a problem with that picture? Look at the hands. The right hand is missing a finger and the left hand is found it. Now, this is an AI photo. Why did I throw this up here? One, because I look gorgeous in it, but two, AI is not there yet. And I want to caution you all because there's a lot of products out there that are saying AI can do your accounting, AI can do your finance. AI will just make it easy. AI messes up a lot when it comes to numbers. In fact, just last year, AI was at a point where if it was more than 10 digits that they were multiplying or adding together, it would screw it up. This isn't an AI class, so I won't go down the rabbit hole. But the way the AI brain works, it's schizophrenic, and that's not an insult. That's like literally how it works. It's a bunch of different brains that they then cobble it up together. So you need a human being to help you with your account. Now, is that you as you're growing your business? Absolutely. You can't afford to have someone else. But as you grow, you need a human being, and you need someone that really knows what they're doing. So my hope today is to cram 20 years of accounting knowledge into 30 minutes, and for you to come out of here as experts. No, my goal here is to help create a little bit of clarity, help you understand the basic forms that you need to, or reports, excuse me, that you need to understand for accounting to help you with your decision making. I will say this, I offer everyone a 1-hour free consultation, business consultation. So if you want to grab my card at the end of this class, I'll talk to you about your business and everything like that. Okay?
Great.
All right, move on to, oh, I actually have the clicker. So move on to the next slide, someone. Okay, here we go. It was working before. What did I do? All right. All right, this is better known as dude, where's my profit? Because that's what you're here to look for, is your profit, not revenue, profit. Okay, who am I? Real quick, accountant for 20 years, CFO for 13 years, founder of ACB Logistics. We are an accounting service firm here on Maui that helps small to medium-sized businesses. Father of 4 kids, and actually, I found out just yesterday I'm being promoted to major in the Army Reserves.
Oh, congratulations.
Okay, the session goals. Where we're going to talk about scalability. We're going to talk about financial statements, break even, cash flow, a little bit on startup costs, talking bottlenecks, sustainable growth strategies. Reports we're going to spend a little bit more time on, and then we're going to kind of just talk through those other items. Again, if you have a question, ask it as we're going along. Okay. And I'm going to somewhat speed through things, not to rush it, but to give you guys as much time as I can. Right. So just stop me if you want to dive a little bit deeper. Okay. Understanding financial statements, balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow. All right. Balance sheet. Balance sheets can be pretty complicated. People like to overcomplicate them. But really what it breaks down to are your assets are either money or things that can make you money, right? So your inventory is, because once you sell your inventory, people give you money for that. Accounts receivable. That is when you bill someone and they haven't paid you yet, it's an accounts receivable. So once that is paid, you're going to get money. So that's why it's an asset, because it has the potential to give you money. Liabilities are going to cost you money in the future. Bills that you haven't paid yet that someone has charged you, right? Your credit card, you're charging it throughout the month. You haven't made payment on your credit card. That's a liability. And then finally, your equity. Your equity is what your business is worth. How many of you guys have gone on to QuickBooks and looked at your equity account every single month and you make sure your equity looks good? No one does that, right? Okay. Equity is one of the most important things for your business, because if your equity number is negative, you no longer own your business, right? Because if you went to go sell your negative equity business, then I would say, well, you're going to have to pay me to take your business off, right? Okay. Any questions on the balance sheet? Again, people overcomplicate it. If it's going to make you money, it's an asset. It's going to lose your money, the liability, and then equity is the net. The formula is assets equal liability and equity. Now, this kind of blows people's brains up a little bit, because they go, well, wait a second. Liability is bad. Equity is good. Assets are good. Why aren't you adding those two together, right? It's just the way the balance sheet works. So everything in accounting has a debit and it has a credit. Now I'm going to confuse you even more, because if you have a debit card from the bank and you use it, it takes money out of your bank, right? You have a credit card and you use it, takes money out of your bank. Debit cards are because it's a debit to your account. And for them, it's a liability because they owe you that money. It's your account. So the debit card is from the banking side, right? That was just to confuse you so that you hire me as an accountant because, but no, the way the movement is assets are increased by a debit and these are increased by a credit. So when you're balancing them out, what you do to your assets will negate these items here, right? So if you get money in from a sale, you increase your asset. That also increases your equity, right? If you decrease your asset because you made a payment on a credit card, then you're going to decrease that liability because you made that. So they have to be a different direction. Anyway, okay. Okay, this is what you actually care about, your income statement. Now, if you talk to an accountant, they're going to say you need to be on accrual basis of accounting because that's what GAAP tells you to do. Does anyone in this room, besides the guy that I know knows this answer, knows what those terms mean? You don't need to because you're not an accountant and you're not a multi-million-dollar business, right? Okay. For you, stay on cash basis. Why cash basis? Remember I talked about accounts receivable. Well, if I'm one of your clients and you send me a bill for $10,000, you're really excited that you just made a $10,000 sale. If I never pay that bill, what does that mean to you? That means that you don't have money in your pocket, right? Cash basis ignores that sale until I give you the cash. So for a small business owner, cash basis is more useful, okay? All right, so what is an income statement? An income statement is simply your revenue minus your expenses equals net income. That's it. I recommend you care more about your net income than you do with your revenue. That if you have a target, I need to make $100,000 a year in order for me to be able to live off of my business. You're not looking for $100,000 in revenue. You're looking for $100,000 in net income. So many small businesses get obsessed about the revenue, and they think that they're doing great because I have $200,000 in revenue, but you have $190,000 in expenses. So maybe you did something wrong in your operations. You need to adjust your expenses, so you have a little bit more of that revenue at the end of the day. Okay. Anyone heard the term EBITDA? You've heard it, right? You know, they talk about it a lot on financial stuff, or if you read books about selling your business, you're going to talk about EBITDA. Okay. EBITDA is just your net income before stuff like interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization. Why do businesses value themselves on EBITDA? Because if you're a business in California versus a business in Texas, your taxes are going to be way different. But your operation, so it's not a good gauge of your operations just because you can really high, right? Interest. If you're using a lot of debt to get your business off the ground, then that interest line item is going to be heavy. But if I go to buy your business, that's going to be wiped down in the process, right? So EBITDA is how everyone outside this world or outside your world will value your business. But there's an easy trick. When you run your income statement, that operating income line item is essentially EBITDA. Close enough for government work, right? All right. Any questions? Yes.
So if I have a business and I was planning on or thinking about selling it, but so it's a service industry and I have equipment, but I wanted to keep my equipment and sell my business as far as like my client load, like how does that work with the?
So there's several things that you can do. You can do an asset sale, and essentially you just value the client list and you just sell that piece. The other thing I would recommend, and this is all of you guys are like starting out your business, but it's something to keep in mind or your exit strategy, because if you don't have an exit strategy, you're gonna be doing this till you die, is eventually setting up at least two businesses. One is your operational company, and the other one is your BS company. And I don't mean balance sheet. Okay, so you're gonna want stuff like travel, your home office, your health insurance costs, all those things that you can write off on your taxes. You're gonna put that stuff over into your holding company. And then you have your operational company just be the stuff related to your business, the direct costs related to your business. So when you have a loan or anything like that, your holding company is holding it. That way, your operational company looks really sexy to buy.
Do they have separate EIN numbers?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
But EIN numbers are like, you can do one a day.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
it's not hard to set up.
Could it have the same business name, but?
Slightly different.
Yeah.
But like I said, mine is called Bell Family Holdings. So just create one that's a holding company. You don't need to do that when you're starting out. But when you're kind of in that 5-10 year window to selling, then start doing that. Yes, sir.
So if I have an LLC and I just created a new LLC, I could use that new LLC as my holding company and my current one as the operational and kind of.
Yeah, or vice versa. Like if you have most of the stuff that you want to keep already kind of in place, and there's just a small small segment that you want to split off, then form a new LLC and just move the stuff that you want to split off over into that LLC. Yeah.
I was wondering what your thoughts are on holding company versus trust.
It's a little bit more complicated to get into. We can talk about it, but it's kind of the same deal. It's just that you have two separate legal entities that are, one's your operating and the other one is non-operating, all your other stuff. And that can be a trust as well as a whole.
Like you figure.
Yeah, and then you can do things like put your house. Yeah. But there's just some tax difference, so it's a little bit more than we can get into for this, but yeah. All right. If you have a question pop up, we'll talk about it at the end. All right, so here we have the bane of the existence of every accounting student, the statement of cash flow. Now, based on this picture, can everyone tell me in great detail how this business is doing and what every one of those line items mean just based on this? Absolutely not. So my recommendation, don't ever use the statement of cash flow in your accounting system. Why? It's only useful for accrual-based accounting, which I already said stay away from. And two, it's only useful for accountants. This is one of those forms that accountants force big businesses to do so that we have job security. Okay? It does not provide you information. What I recommend instead is this becomes your cash flow. You run your income statement in QuickBooks using cash basis, pop it into Excel, and then at the bottom subtract out your principal debt payments. Okay, so principal is on your liabilities. Interest is on your income statement. So on your income statement, you're only going to be capturing your interest charges. And if you have both onto there, you're doing it wrong. Stop doing that. And probably your tax CPA will tell you it's wrong and tell you to adjust it incomes. So your interest expense will be on the books, or will be on your net income, but your principal will be ignored. Why is it so important? Well, if you have a loan and the principal payment is $10,000 a month, and you made $11,000, you're thinking, I made $11,000, right? But you didn't make $11,000, you made $1,000 because you did your principal payment. The good news is, the government also thinks you made $11,000, and so they're going to tax you on $11,000. But you want to, because this is your cash flow, this is the flow of money coming in and out of your business, you want to account for the debt payments. Then you have your owner draw. So that's the money that you took out of your business, right? It's not an expense. That's you taking your profits out, but you can lose track of that, right? If you're not being careful. And then finally, your owner contribution. So oh, we didn't have enough money in the bank, so I had to push some money, right? When I was first starting out my business, I was doing that all the time, because there was no revenue to offset expenses, right? And then that actually gives you your small business cash flow, your cash basis cash flow, okay? So this is the proper statement of cash flow. The other one, don't touch it, don't run it, don't try to understand it. I don't even really understand it. I sort of understand it, but I still don't find it useful. All right. Main takeaway from this section, and I believe we had handouts. Did those not get printed up? Okay. Well, the people that are online got handouts, so
Awesome.
just sucks for you guys. But if you want to take a picture of this, this has the key takeaways. Again, if you reach out to me, I'll just give you guys this PowerPoint. If you want it.
Thank you.
All right.
And I don't.
It just won't have, my beautiful face and humor, but that's fine. Okay, cash flow versus profit. Now, you shouldn't care about revenue. Sort of, you should care. Zero kind of sucks, but you should really care about profits. But even more so, you should care about your cash, especially as a small business owner, especially as you're starting out. Because the cash flow is what's going to kill you. And not what's my cash flow going to be next week. What's your cash flow going to be for the entire year, right? Do a projection out, do a 12-month out projection, just kind of based on conservative numbers. And then you get to the end of the year and you go, oh, my cash flow is going to be this dollar amount. Well, then factor in the taxes that you're going to be charged on there. If you want to be super squirrely about it, do 30%. Probably it's more realistic to do 20. If you're super small, probably around 10. You're okay for a little bit of a set aside. You might owe, but you might be close enough. Take that out of your cash flow projections so you don't spend that money and then you're like, oh crap, I got to make a lot of sales in April to pay my taxes, right? Okay. All right. Profit is what left over both once revenue and expenses are factored in, cash flows, movement. And analysis said that a business can be profitable but still run out of cash if customers delay payment, right? So again, cash basis, you shouldn't have as much of this problem, but in your head, you make a $10,000 sale, you're thinking like, what can I buy for $10,000, right? So you got to be careful. But just to kind of show you why cash flow matters over profitability, you sell a product for $5,000 and you have to pay $3,000 up front, but you're not getting paid for 60 days. So you don't have, you're floating an expense for 60 days before you get paid, right? And then another quick example, you have $10,000, but you've only collected $3 and your expenses are $5. Well, you're in the hole for $2,000, right? So cash flow is what is going to kill you. So keep an eye on your cash flow. Again, 12-month projections, a rolling 12 months, always be looking into the future. Okay. Okay, break through the break-even point. Does everyone in this room know what your break-even point is for your business? Great.
Yeah.
Okay. You today, after this, need to go back and figure out your break-even point. It is the most critical thing that you can do with your business. Because if you are making less than your break-even point, you're screwed. And you need to start putting money into your business, right? Out of your own pocket. If you're better than your break-even point, great. Now you can start hoarding that money away because you're gonna have to pay a certain amount in taxes, and then you can play it with a little bit of it. So your break-even point is the whole reason why you're in business. No, I'm a plumber. I get it, you're a plumber, right? But you're not wanting to be a plumber for free. Everyone started a business to make money. The way you break money is to break past your break-even point. Okay, so break even. A lot of people forget what the expenses mean, right? For a break-even point. You think, oh, well, I'm selling mugs and it costs me $2 for the mugs. And so if I sell for $5, I'm making $3 per mug. Cool. What about the cost of your website? What about the cost of your email? What about your cost? What about your employees' cost? What about your rent? blah, 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 blah. All the things related to your business, all of it, need to be included in your break-even point. You cobble it all up together. So in this example, you know, you have the mugs. You are netting $4 per month, right? So your mugs are costing you $6. You make $10. You're netting $4. The rest of your expenses are $2,000. That means you need to sell 500 mugs. Why do you need the break-even point? You need it because you need to be able to take a step back and say, is this realistically a business? Now, that does not mean I'm trying to burst your bubble and say, okay, close up shop and walk out the door. What I'm going to tell you is that meeting with, maybe let's say hundreds, but maybe I'm over exaggerating it. There's a lot of small businesses. I will tell you, they are notorious for undervaluing themselves. Okay. I'm a little cautious to say this because I don't want you guys to sound sexist, but it's just what I've seen. Women tend to be even worse with undervaluing themselves. So, really look at your value as a human being in your business. Look at what you're doing that's different from everyone else. And if it's better, then charge higher. Okay. Because if you change this, amount from $10 to $15, it's going to be a heck of a lot easier to break even. Okay. Hopefully I didn't offend anyone there. That's not, it's just, it's important to have that self-awareness that I'll almost guarantee you guys are undervaluing yourselves. So take a look at that. Okay. You are meant for more. If you are the only one in your business, then the business is only as successful as the amount of time you put into it. That is not a business. That is a job. Okay. Your goal should be to break past the job phase into the business phase. Now, is that possible for every single business? Sometimes it's tough, if it's called Adam's Masseuse Company and Adam's not the one giving you the massage, then it might be a problem, right? But you need to be thinking about how you can scale your business past you. Now, sometimes what helps is that you go, okay, I'm doing 30 hours a week in actual massage, and I'm doing 10 hours of accounting. Okay, well, can you bring in an accountant to help you with the 10 hours? And now you have an extra 10 hours for your business. And since you are making money, is it way more than what the accountant? It should be, right? So that's a way to increase your business. So bring people in to kind of offset all the other crap that doesn't have anything to do with your actions, right? Almost every business has the ability to go past where they're at right now, if you kind of think about things in a different way, right? I know that that's kind of like a broad way of saying it, but let's just have a conversation, because normally when I can talk to someone, they can kind of see, oh, okay, yeah, if we switch this, or if I marketed this, or you know what, I kind of have a really cool branding. Maybe I need to start putting that on merchandise and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I can do massage videos, training videos online, and now I can do like an online course, and I can sell that online course, right? So there's a lot of different ways to kind of think outside the box to help you scale up. But your goal needs to be getting it past your hourly work is what makes the business successful. Okay, I don't want to overbeat that dead horse, but it's really, really important, because that's what's going to keep you from dying in your business. And it makes it sellable.
So is it something like I started a food truck business, and I decided to pay somebody to do my social media for me.
Yep.
So it's kind of like, because that now frees up that time for me. So that's kind of what.
Yeah, so that frees up 10% of your time. Then you bring in someone else that frees up another 10%. Now you have a little bit more that you're putting into the business time-wise, and you go, oh, now I can do a separate food truck, right? And I'm gonna hire staff and staff that food truck. And
Okay.
now you have, because you have two different food trucks, if this one starts struggling a little bit, this one is keeping it up, because you're not putting them right next to each other, you're putting them in different areas. And then you go, oh, if I do another one, I'll have even more diversification, right? And that's kind of how you can grow. When you're in one spot, you're gonna live and die on that one thing. But as you diversify into either different areas geographically or different areas as in different industries with in kind of a similar vibe of what you're doing, then you can be successful because you're not living and dying on one.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Common scaling challenges. Time. You guys are going to burn out. You cannot roll 80 hours a week for your life and be happy with your life. It just isn't going to happen. You can do that for short sprints. If you're living on 80 and you think, hey, I'm just going to keep rolling like this, it's just, you're setting yourself up for failure. Okay. So you got to get yourself to 40, where really what you're looking for is 30. Am I saying you can walk out the door today and just be like, hey, world, I'm doing 30 hours a week, pay me the same amount? No. But you need to be, that should be your goal, is to get to 30. Staffing. Staffing sucks on Maui. It is hard. So figure out the stuff that you can outsource to people that you trust. Obviously, I have an accounting business, so I'm going to emphasize that, but it's also what I meant, right? So instead of you trying to hire an accountant, and then when that accountant, quits, and now you're like panicking until you find another accountant, just hire a firm that you trust, and then they take care of all the factors. Right? But social media, that's a great one. It takes me forever to do on my own. So I hired an executive assistant, and she takes care of it for me, and she does an amazing job. She created the slide deck, right? And so better product. So just think about how you can potentially staff, but maybe staff outside the box. Maybe it doesn't need to be a physical person.
Like subcontractors?
Like subcontractors, yes. If are you a general contractor or? Yeah, so you're subbing out, but then you get wind of someone that you really love, they're an awesome person, and you can float staffing them, and if you staff them, then you can really grow because now you're doing all the carpentry work in-house. That's a way to kind of keep your eyes open, but until you have that person, you just sub it out, right? And then you just make sure you're building into your budget that you're still getting your piece. You're not sacrificing your profit to pay your sub. You're factoring in the price of the sub to make sure you're still making your break even.
Yeah, for factoring in if the sub even wants to be an employee or wants to stay a subcontractor.
Right. Okay, inventory. Does anyone have an inventory business in here? Okay, inventory. How long have you been operating? Okay, so you've kind of started figuring it out. But not to get too personal, but for whatever reason, I decided that I wanted to start making beauty products just for the heck of it. It's a long story, and I don't want to waste your guys' time. But starting to research that, going through that process, it is a 12-week delay between ordering it to when it's in my warehouse, right? And so if I get more orders than I know what to do with, now I'm sending an email to clients saying, hey, I'm sorry, you're not going to get your product for 12 weeks. That is not an email I want to send. So if you have an inventory business, that logistics of that movement, it is so critical. Okay. Money is a problem. That's what's keeping you back from being able to hire all the people you want and all the things. It is really hard for me to say this and for you guys to hear it because as you're starting out, money is extremely important. That's what puts food on your table. That's what pays your rent. At some point, though, you have to break through that mindset, and money needs to turn into a tool for you, not a goal. Money is just a tool. It takes X amount of money to hire a staff. Don't think about it. If you have the money there and it will move you forward as a company, then hire the staff. Don't sit there and go, oh, so much money, man, I would have killed for this kind of money just 2 years ago. It's like, no, it's just a tool. It's not the goal. It's not the end. Okay. All right. And people that own businesses will tell you that, because as soon as they sell for a bunch of money, then they become super depressed because they have nothing else. All right. Scaling. Spanx. Amazing product. She started in her home with $5,000, turned into $1 billion company. What did she sell? She sells Spanx. Like, Spanx are its own thing. She didn't start selling Spanx shoes and Spanx shirts. Now, she might be doing that now, but for the first, 20 years, it was just Spanx. And she was able to scale. She was just selling the same thing, doing the same thing, and just growing and growing and growing. Lego nearly went bankrupt. Why? Because they decided to create an amusement park out of nowhere. They're a Swedish company deciding to create an amusement park in San Diego. They decided to create video games, and they had a bunch of different product lines, and different individual cube type things. So they almost went under because they were doing the video game in-house, right? Then they decided to just license that out, and then people bought Legoland and then licensed Lego. They bought the video game company and they licensed it. They went back to focusing just on the Legos, and then they were able to turn the ship around and they're successful again. Okay, so just don't get too squirrely, don't get all over the place. Do what you do that you know that you can do great, and laser focus into it and just make it the best thing you can. Okay. Okay, that's just a summary of kind of what we talked about. All right, financial red flags. High customer acquisition cost. So if it costs me $500 to get a new client because of marketing and everything like that, and I get $100 from them, is it worth it? No. I can say that to you and you guys go like, absolutely not. You're so dumb, Adam, for even doing that. But you don't track it, right? How many of you actually track your acquisition costs for your customers? You don't, right? Yeah.
Repeat that first thing you just said about the customer one more time. I missed it. I want to hear.
I only say things smart once. So after that. Okay, so if it costs you $500 in marketing to get a $100 client,
Okay.
right? Then you lost $400 on that.
True.
But you're not seeing that in your day-to-day because you're not tracking. I almost guarantee you that, right? So you need to start building in mechanisms to track that. What are you spending on your time? You know, let's say you join the Rotary Club, just because I saw it on your name tag. And you are going to Rotary Club all the time. And for 2 years, you've never got a single lead from that Rotary Club. Is it worth being in the Rotary Club? Right? Now,
Usually,
right. The Rotary Club actually is a great organization, and you normally will get leads and connections through there. But that's just an easy example, right? It's an example of time, right? If you went to the Rotary Club, and every time you went to the Rotary Club, and it's an hour, is it a week or a month? What's your meeting?
it's one meeting a month.
Yeah, so you go to one meeting a month, and you almost like always get a lead in that meeting. Is that worth your time? Absolutely. Heck yeah, right? So really start tracking both your time and your money when it comes to your acquisition cost for a client, and make sure that the juice is worth the squeeze, because there's a lot of things you can waste your time on. All right. Inconsistent cash inflows and poor budgeting. Unfortunately, the nature of the beast, some of you guys just have businesses that are per event, right? If you're selling t-shirts, someone's not going to come in and be like, hey, can I get a t-shirt subscription where you send me a t-shirt every single month, right? However, have you guys ever tried doing a t-shirt subscription? Is that even a thing? You might as well try it, right? So take a step back from your business and see how much of your stuff you can put on a subscription plan. Okay.
It's a great idea, right?
How does Costco make their money? Anyone tell me?
Percent fees.
Their membership fees. They break even right out of the gate. Their membership fees break them even. All their operational costs are covered by their membership fee. Now, they don't really have to sell anything and they'll break even. Now, if they sell anything, they're making money. So how can you design some element within your business to be a monthly reoccurring fee? And you don't need to have 100% of your clients do that, but just enough that you know you're going to break even every month, and then everything is profit. Do you like that? She started clapping. I was like, oh, okay. All right. And over reliance on single revenue. This one you got to be careful with because you don't want to get like just all over the place. But you do want to diversify some so that if one thing fails, you're not just completely out, right? The brewery that spoke. So they were in Lahaina, right? They were building, they just happened to be building another one in Wailea. The fires hit, and they were like, shoot, we don't have the money to do this, right? In Wailea. So they still did it. Why? Because building it over there meant that they still had a way to make money. Now, if they would have closed that one first, losing that facility in Lahaina still would have hurt like crap. But they still would have been able to more easily weather the storm because they were diversified, right? So think about a way to make it so if that one client goes away, or if that one product line no longer is fun for people to buy, or whatever it is, that you can diversify. And if you ever want to talk through it, just give me a call, because that's one of the most fun things I do is to brainstorm with my clients. Oh, wow, that was fast. All right. Do any of you have any questions? Yes.
Recently, like, you guys just find out what you did, and then earlier you also said that like you need to be like laser focused. How Lego was having like too many ideas. So
Right, and that's why I said I'm cautious when I say you gotta diversify. So what I would say is doing the same thing, but either doing it like, because I don't know your business, either doing it in multiple locations or multiple industries, but it's still like the same thing, right? So I don't niche to construction. I have several of my controllers that specialize in construction, but I'll take any small medium-sized business on. Because if I just niched construction, now my fortunes are tied with construction, which is great right now, but if it dries up, now my business is suffering, right? So that's like, I'm still doing accounting services. It's just, I'll do accounting services for construction, I'll do accounting services for restaurants, I'll do accounting services for doctor's offices, right? Because I know I can and still provide a good product.
Gotcha.
So it takes a little bit of a sit back and say, how can I diversify without overstretching yourself? But you don't want to be like, I make t-shirts and now I'm going to do construction. You know what I mean? It's just too big of a difference. What is your business? Selling courses. Yeah, so you can sell multiple different types of courses.
I mean, just like finding different call it like areas to sell the product that I have.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep. 100%. Yep.
What's your contact info?
What? There it is.
Oh,
Also, business cards are in the back and flyers are in the back. If you scan that, it goes straight to the contact me page on our thing. The business card actually has my business cell phone, so no late night drunk calls. But that is more of a direct line to me. And not everyone in the world gets a direct line to me. Because I get busy.
We do e-commerce businesses too.
What?
I said, what's this call about?
Okay, so that is a honey badger named after my son Harrison. So that's Harrison the honey badger. Honey badgers are the most resilient animal in nature. If you've ever watched the videos on them, they are insane. They eat cobras. They're called honey badgers because they'll go into a honeybee nest and eat the honey while they're being poked on. So that is what I want my business to portray, especially to my clients, as a resiliency, a way to get through no matter what life throws at you. You know, you can take on a herd of jackals, which honey badgers have been known. Yes.
Well, I've had this problem for a while in my head where I want to raise my prices, but I feel like I'm in like a sweet spot in my industry, and I feel like if I raise my prices, I'm gonna get a totally different income. Is that something that you like would consider factoring in when like raising?
So just because I say raise your prices doesn't mean I am saying double your prices. So if you raise your prices 5% a year, inflation tends to average 3%. I know it wasn't that way for the last couple of years, but in general, it's 3%. So if you just raise 5%, I will almost guarantee you your clients aren't going to notice it. Now, why 5%? After 15 years, your prices have doubled. Your clients didn't even notice. So 5% increase. You know, what's your product cost right now? What's your product cost? Like, are you hourly or?
I do like wedding and makeup services, so.
Yeah. So if you charge instead of $100, you charge $105. Do you really think you do? Clients where you notice that?
In like the high, like I want to go up to 1,000. So.
Okay, so are you trying to get a new client type of client? Yeah.
I'm not trying to, but I'm at like right under 800 now. I
Mhm.
want to go higher based off of the people coming to Maui.
So in my brochure, you'll see that there's a 3-tier plan. Why did I design a 3-tier plan? Anyone tell me that? It's answering your question. I'm not like ignoring. I'm not like, oh, I can't answer that.
I think because there's different levels of what people think.
Okay, so a 3-tier plan, you have like, hey, here's my basic offering. You can still get a good service. Here's this middle offering that's just amazing, like the best thing ever. Here's the top tier offering that has all the bells and whistles. They get to still choose what they want, and there's no like rug pull that you oversold and now you're frustrated because it's costing you less than you want. So you can still charge 800, but do it in a way that's, you know, financially viable for you, but offer the middle and the bells and whistles one. Why do you have the middle and the bells and whistles? The middle is what you're currently doing. And so the middle, you make it look the most appetizing because you're like, oh, this is so much more than the basic. And look, it's just a few things less than the super high tier. I'm going to go with the middle tier. And you don't realize it, but you guys do it all the time when you're buying stuff. You always go with the one that says recommended, middle tier one. You still have the top tier in there though, because you get that super wealthy person that comes in and says, I want the best on this island. They're going to look for the most expensive. So you want to have this astronomically expensive one on there. Just this stupid expensive one that's like, hey, I'll be there in the same day. I'll fly in on a helicopter, you know, whatever.
We'll do a heart of rose.
Yeah, but you're charging a ton. And you might get 1 or 2 people that just come in and make your entire year on these 2 sales because they just wanted the best and you're presenting yourself as the best and you have the highest price. But you still have the middle tier, which most people are going to want to grab. And then you have the low tiers just to tell your current clients, hey, I haven't changed, I'm still me, but I'm just offering you in my other tier. So that's one way.
I think that's what I want to do.
Yeah, so add that crazy high tier and see what happens. You'll have a couple grab it.
And up your other tiers a little bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
But
you're
I'm
worth
afraid
it.
that, like, yeah, it's more difficult.
If they're paying you $50,000 for a wedding, they can be as difficult as they want. You plug your nose and deal with it for a week, and we're gonna move on.
Asking a question,
Oh, yeah. Okay,
just in case you didn't see that.
I did not. If you have 2 separate entities, how does that impact loans? Log in today to the loan conversation this afternoon, and you'll have 3 different loan specialists that can answer that question. So, yeah, so I won't steal their thunder because the panel's already set for that. Yes?
So you would have a separate company with your like truck, all your things of your business. That's
You-
what I was understanding.
You would have,
You would have that.
you would have one business that has the stuff you don't want to sell, and then another business that has the stuff that you do want to sell. And was that?
You didn't want to sell it. You wanted to sell everything, then you would just have it.
Right, so you can have one company for right now. As you get to the point, when you're in that 5-year window to selling, restructure, and now don't have any of your personal stuff, your business dinners with your wife, that, you know, that kind of stuff. Don't have any of that on your operational LLC. Have it on your holding company. You because you're trying to get your EBITDA as high as possible, because that's the multiplier that they use for the value of the business. It's not your revenue, it's your EBITDA that they value your business based off of. Let me say that one more time. It's not the revenue, it's the EBITDA that anyone buying your business will value you based off of. So make sure that's the side profit. Yes, ma'am.
A second reason that I've heard, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is to use the parent company and then the lower companies to also manage liability within the different operations.
Correct. I mean, like I said, when you're first starting out, it's all kind of cobbled together. But if you have several different product lines or revenue streams, and now you have like a rental house, you don't want the rental house in the same business as your operational business, because if they sue the business, they'll take the rental house. So yes, you split that. Yes, sir.
I just had something to add to the woman question earlier about raising rate. What I did with my business after the lockdown, after the pandemic, was I incrementally did it
Mhm.
through the year, like quarterly.
Yeah.
In small amounts, so it's kind of just sneaks right in and nobody even
And no one really knows.
noticed it.
And that's what I would recommend that you guys do. Just build in like a quarterly 1%, an annual 5%, just inch it up. And you're not trying to rob people, guys. You're just trying to get your break even a little bit better. You're just trying to ease your stress. That's all that you're trying to do. And you're trying to survive inflation. If you did not increase your prices 15% when inflation was 15%, you've lost 15%. So, you got a question?
No, it's very good, thank you.
No, I'm a farmer and I feel so bad when you've got the kahuna or the family that you know is on food stamp and then you like raise your prices. So I have a really hard time raising my prices. I don't know, I think I need to consult with you and stuff. I'm wondering if I should do a nonprofit, because I also feel that there's not enough farmers, and so I'm trying to grow that, and I do a lot of things with 4-H to try and get the kids on the farm, and there's a lot of.
I think forming a nonprofit and increasing your prices and then using a portion of the now additional revenue to fund the nonprofit to then go help families is going to be better, because here's the deal.
Yeah.
You might keep your prices low, but the supermarket's just going to increase it based on cold, heartless math. They got a guy like me that is just going to do math and say it needs to be increased. So, it stinks, but they're going to get their profit, right? And it doesn't make sense for you to be suffering for them to benefit even more. Because
Sell the supermarkets.
you sell directly to.
We're small on Lanai. I'm on Lanai, and so we're really small. You barter.
Very close to me.
One thing that's difficult. Okay, so one thing that's difficult with in-kind donations is you can't write it off, but you can write off on your taxes cash donations, right? So you giving people free food or making it less, again, you're on an isolated place, so it's a different world. But if you charged a bit more and then put that into a nonprofit and then help families and then have your nonprofit buy your food, which you can do, right? Now you're actually able to give that food to people that need it, and you have a tax write-off, right? All right, any, yes.
I want to know the name of your farm. You should share that somehow.
West Farm, like.
Okay, amazing. I just have a quick question. Does your firm handle overviews for doing positions? You do. Okay.
We'll
Do you
do
have a,
due diligence work and all that
yeah.
fun stuff as well. We'll do analysis of your business, tell you what you can sell for, and then, you know, obviously I'm gonna try and sell you on bringing us in to do the work for you, but we'll design your financials so that they look good. And not in an illegal way, right? But there's a way to make your books look clean and ready for sale. And then also strategies where they need to look good. Because here's the deal, when you're in the 3-year window of selling, you gotta just take the hit on paying high taxes because you have to look like you're paying good taxes. So it doesn't do any good to pay 0 taxes for those 3 years and then go to sell, because what do they look for? Your financial statements out of your QuickBooks and your tax returns are what they're gonna look at.
Well, okay, so kind of what you're saying, if it was my business, you would want to position it to make it look as good as possible. So I feel like in that acquisition process, there can be like.
Oh, you wanna buy something?
Yeah, on the buy
So,
side.
so on the other side, if we're your person, we go in there and we rip through all that and make sure there's no
Would you
BS.
do that if they're, I mean, do you do that independently or with a team?
Like me personally, or
Yeah.
no, I have 14 people that work for me.
Okay.
So the way we do it is we take their tax return
Mhm.
and see how much of it doesn't match, right?
Okay.
And then see how much of that is BS. And then you look at multiple years. And then things that look like outliers or weird little things. And then you do revenue. You go in there and you go, okay, prove to me that these items actually exist. Send me the invoices and stuff. It's the whole thing. Yeah. Oh, for your farm, you ever do any social networking? Like posts and stuff like that?
Yeah, the last time I came to this boot camp, I was hooked up with some a program. I can't remember which one. I think it was a women's group. And anyway, they came and they helped farmers with their social media, and I did it really good for like 2 weeks, and then I go, I can't handle this, and I got to go back to the farm. So
It would just be awesome if you got in with someone that loves doing social media
I'm gonna
posting.
have to look up per person.
Yeah, well, because
It makes a world of difference.
and maybe this is a cool thing to touch on. Your business is more about your story, right? There is a billion different bookkeepers out there, right? You can use any one of them. What makes my business special is the story behind it, right? The story of who I am, who my people are that work for me, who my controllers are. It's the story, it's the vibe, right? And so you have an awesome vibe. You have an awesome story. You're talking about this farm that you're farm to table in your community and wanting to help people. Not that you want to, in a gross way, leverage that for sale, but marketing that, you'll have people that will come just to visit you. You know, you might have people that you can charge to help you work on the farm.
Yeah, that's kind of a problem with the landowner.
Well, I'm just saying, like market yourself, market your story. We have 5 minutes? Okay, 5 minutes. Really, all the questions in the world? Correct? Yes.
Is there an argument for staying small? If there existed growth for a while?
When I had the slide that said you're meant for more, it's whatever that means to you, right? If you want to be a billionaire, go be a billionaire. If you want to work 20 hours a week, then work 20 hours a week. If you want your business to be set on autopilot, then build it to a point to be set on autopilot. It doesn't need to be $1. It just needs to be a goal, right? And so what I don't want you all to do is work 80 hours a week for 20 years and then die alone and broke because you didn't scale your business. But if you're making exactly what you need to live your life and you're happy with the amount of time you're working and you're cool with life and you have an exit strategy, be it that you're making your business sellable or you've been investing in retirement, cool. You're fine. But I will almost guarantee everyone in this room, There's more that you can be doing. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to kill yourself to get there. I'm just saying you are meant for more. Just define what that more means to you.
So to your question, I'm a small business, but I leverage what I have to do more for me. Like if I have a piece of equipment and it's sitting there idle, I'm renting it out, right, for somebody else. And that equipment is making me money.
Yep.
And I'm not even doing anything with it except for renting it out.
Yeah.
What's your business?
Solar design. Yeah, I don't know if I want to deal with it.
Leverage what you have to start creating some extra.
So I'm hearing fear over employee.
Yeah.
Um,
You're not funding, right, a payroll company as well. That's really.
yeah.
There's a 90-day sickness going around.
Yeah.
You should just like rent yourself out to other businesses, other solar companies, and do the design work if you like that. And then they could just pay you to do that, and you don't have to go with employees. Every one.
So what I will say about employees, hire for personality, not for background.
Agree.
Yep, I agree with that.
Find the diamonds in the rough. My best staff I've ever had in my life, in multiple different jobs, industries, have been the returning to work mom. The returning to work mom is
You're the best.
they have a ton of skills, they have a ton of experience, and then they took a 10-year break to raise their kids, right? And in that 10 years, they didn't lose those skills, they didn't lose those abilities. In fact, some of them probably got heightened because now they're managing little people. And now they're returning to work and their resume looks like garbage. Right? If they're a great personality and their experience that they had 10 years ago is only somewhat fit and you're trainable and you're willing to be flexible with what they need in their life for their time, for their family, then hire them and just train them up. And they'll do a great job for you.
We have another Zoom question.
All right, what are a couple common financial pitfalls to be mindful of and how to avoid them? I think we hit on a few of the big ones. If you're using debt as an instrument, don't forget your debt payments. Keep a focus on your cash flow. Keep a focus on your equity. Project out. Look forward. That's a big one. How about that? That's a good key word one. Always look forward. Budget your next year. Do projections 12 months in advance. Always be looking forward. Realistically, not like, oh, if I make $1 million sale, look how great my life will be. But really project forward so that you can plan. Always be looking forward. And here's a quick analogy. If you take your foot off the gas in your car, it doesn't stop. It slows way down and still is trickling along, but you still have to do the same thing. You can't go to bed with the car still going forward, right? So you're still working almost just as hard with the pedal to the metal, or if you are having it on idle and still creeping forward. Okay, so don't let off the gas. Keep rolling. Keep moving forward.
So
One last question, then she's going to kick us out of it.
Okay, so if you everyone's a startup, right? And so you put your startup costs into your business.
Yep.
And like I purchased my trailer and I gave myself a startup amount of cash. So I don't have any bills to pay for my business for what I started up. But how do you put that so you eventually start paying yourself back? Is that just your draw, or
So that's your initial equity investment, right?
equity investment? Okay.
So you're going to credit equity and debit the expense that it's related to. And that's how you account for it. And then if you draw money, like let's say you have money, so in that same year let's say you put $10,000 in the business, you make $10,000, you're not paying taxes on that because the money you put into the business are expenses. So you could still draw that $10,000 back out and you're not paying taxes on it. because it's just you drawing out your initial business. Is that gonna make sense?
So where do you put your initial investment on there? You put that,
In, the journal entry just said, you're crediting owner contributions,
okay,
you're debiting expenses,
okay,
whatever the expense category is.
okay.
Couple really quick things that you guys are getting up and walking out the door. Home office, everyone has a home office. Your internet, you can write off your internet, all of it. Put your cell phone bill on your business, okay? If you have an S corp, do a mileage reimbursement to yourself. You can reimburse your home office, meaning that you don't just take the home office deduction on your taxes, you actually cut yourself a physical check every single month. You do not pay taxes on that, it's a reimbursement. Okay, so a couple things a lot of people figured out. Matt Bell, ACB Logistics, grab my card, I am here for you, we can talk more.
And then we're gonna break.
How do you think that went?
You again?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate Yeah. How do you think it went?
No, I thought people got a lot of.
Oh, no, hey, give me a call. Yeah, no problem.
Which car? No, I don't even.
I use this AI.
Yeah, you make the note.
Yeah. That's how I study too.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
I'm still a student.
You can start something as a student, so start thinking of that business plan. Yes, the long run. You already booked it?
I already did, I applied with the QR.
Yeah. For whatever reason, like, just because sometimes those calendars